Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson, and this is my review for Emma, which is the latest adaptation of the Jane Austen novel and stars Anya Taylor-Joy as the main character, Emma Woodhouse. Emma Woodhouse is a young woman who lives in a mansion with her elderly father, played by Bill Nighy, and while she herself has no plans at all to marry or have a love life in general, she really gets a kick out of pairing her friends and family up with other people. In fact, she enjoys this so much that sometimes it causes a little bit of frustration and problems with some of her friendships. I have a question for you guys. Have you ever gone to the movies and watched something where you say to yourself, you know what, this is really good. It's got great performances, it looks amazing, it's a very good movie all around, and I'd never say it's bad, but I'm not that into it. That's Emma for me. I will fully admit right now that this movie is not really for me. The reason why this movie didn't really work that much for me is kind of the comedy itself. It's not that it's bad, it's just you really have to be a fan of Jane Austen's work in order to get this movie. I haven't read any of her books myself, but I'm very familiar with her work, such as Emma and Pride and Prejudice. And because those stories take place within 19th century England, there's a specific dialogue to those stories and that time period that doesn't really translate that well for me as a dumb American in 2020. Now, I can appreciate a dry British sense of humor, but because it takes place in a period piece, the dialogue just didn't really register with me. And I will admit right now that it's not the movie's fault, because it is made for a certain crowd, and I'm not part of that crowd that this movie's made for. But that being said, there is so much in this movie that I actually can acknowledge as being good. For one, the cast. You have Anya Taylor-Joy as the lead character, Emma Woodhouse, and she's very good. Even if I didn't entirely get the comedy, this character just comes across as very snarky and very full of herself, and I guess to an extent there is some comedy in there. I also really love Bill Nighy as Mr. Woodhouse, Emma's father, because he was actually the one that was making me laugh the whole time, and Bill Nighy is an actor that I've always liked. Same thing with Anya Taylor-Joy. I've always loved her as an actress, and this is really her movie. The rest of the cast is great as well, but what I really love about this movie more than anything else is the look of it. The costume design is absolutely incredible. These are some very, very impressive costumes. I mean, the costumes were designed by Alexandra Byrne, who's no stranger to period pieces such as Elizabeth the Golden Age, Phantom of the Opera, Finding Neverland, and Mary Queen of Scots. And then for you Marvel Cinematic Universe fans out there, she's done the costumes for movies like Thor, The Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Doctor Strange, and she's doing the costumes for Marvel's Eternals. So this is somebody who is clearly one of the best costume designers working, and this movie definitely is proof. The movie has a fantastic look to it, and I really dig the score. The score gives this movie a feeling like it was made in the 50s or 60s, and I know I said that same thing in Call of the Wild, where it was a movie that should have come out back then. And with Call of the Wild, I said that as a criticism towards the movie, but with the case of Emma, it makes it feel like a movie that I haven't seen in a long period of time, and I could definitely appreciate that. I honestly don't have that much to say about the movie. It's very well made, it's got great performances, it's got some amazing costumes, and it just has an amazing look to it in general. So as for a rating, I can never say that this is a bad movie. I myself might not have been a huge fan of it, but there's no denying that it's a good movie. I guess because I personally didn't understand it myself, I can't go the extra mile and say that it's great, but the stuff that is great is, again, very great, and if you're a fan of Jane Austen's work, then this movie is right up your alley. And even if you're not, there's so much to admire about this movie that I can't say you should skip it, but maybe it's not worth going out to the theater if you know that this is not your thing. And there you go, that's my review for Emma. Maybe one day I'll revisit this movie now that I know what to expect, and maybe on a second viewing I'll go, you know what, I'm digging this movie a lot more. So We'll see if that ever happens, but right now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until then, this is the Real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one.